Hello, it's Beverly with the Intuitive Interior, April 2023 I Ching forecast. So the month of the, not the year, we're not quite there to the dragon year next year, but the month of the fire dragon is starting on April 5th, ends on May 5th, and includes a beginning of a wonderful Mercury retrograde. That Mercury retrograde goes from April 21st through, May 14th. What does all this mean? And why should you care? Again, these are simply little bits of heads up, give you an idea of, kind of what to expect, kind of like a weather forecast, right? It's an energy forecast. I don't have specific timing. I just do these as a way to kind of help myself see what to kind of, what to wear. And, just to make sure that I'm doing what I can to stack the odds in my favor. So first, let's start with the overall energy of the month. Yang Fire Dragon. Yang Fire is the sun. It's the just overall life-giving, amplifying energy of the sun shining on everybody. It doesn't care. It's like everything just gets the sun. Sometimes though, that can be, well, a little bit too much sun. It can be a little overly illuminating for those who aren't really wanting to have all their little foibles out for the public to see. So that Yang Fire can be wonderful when harnessed to go for a promotion or to get that extra visibility that you may have been missing. So there's a lot of opportunity that will come up this month. The dragon energy is the only animal in the Chinese pantheon that isn't actually a real animal. It's that mythical dragon. And we've all seen dragons showing up a lot in popular culture. I mean, it's obviously been there a long time, but Game of Thrones fan. Those Daenerys, Queen of Dragons, those dragons, they could be really helpful and really positive, or they could burn your village to the ground. In the Chinese astrology, it's more about altruism, a little bit more aloofness. There's that you don't necessarily need to be with people all the time. So you might find yourself really needing to retreat to make sure that you can, recover from all that fire energy coming on you. That's all part of this. Or you actually might find that you're getting that inner fire to speak your mind and to no longer tolerate what has up to this point been tolerable, but it may have been that final straw that said, okay, enough. We are no longer putting up with what had been put up with before. So overall, that's the general theme for April. Now, the conflict animal in this month is the dog. Again, conflict is not always bad. Conflict can mean, again, new opportunities, a surprising change. It can mean really confronting what it is that you have been avoiding. And now you get to be at choice. Do I do something about it? Or do I keep living with something that, well, it's fine. But when you suddenly know that something's no longer fine, it's that little pebble in the shoe that ceases to be just an annoyance and now becomes a big blister. So that is something to look at. The dates for those month breaker days this month are the 10th, the 22nd. Let me look at the next page, and May 4th. So those are the days to the 10th, 22nd, and the 4th. Those are actually really great days to break bad habits, to start an exercise routine, to quit smoking, to take up a new class, learning opportunity, to shift from one career to another. So those are good ways to use that conflict animal energy. All right, now let's go on to the I Ching part of the forecast. Last month, we had the same card come up. This is called Youthful Folly. It also was the very first card that popped out of the deck. And when I did the throw to see which of the lines, the aspect lines, exact same reading. So here's a quick refresher course on this. We have Kun, which is the trigram for water, with Gen, the trigram for yang earth, on top of that. Youthful folly, the terms here are impulsiveness, immaturity, bluffing, ignorance, learning, impatience, and reckless behavior. So you've got somebody here just thinking, having a grand old time with the wind blowing on them as they are on a tight wire. Now, for those of you who have great balance, that may not terrify you. I am not one of those people. So whenever I see this, my first thought is, all right, where am I being a little irresponsible in my world? So I hope everybody wants to, take that into account. But when it is in this one, the number 6 line. So again, the bottom 3 trigrams, just to kind of refresh you, is dealing more with internal world. The top 3 lines have to do more with how you are viewing things externally and how are those impacting you. So because again, this is youthful folly, this is somebody in the news or some situation in your external world where people really are not acting wisely. This is the quality of the hexagram of youthful folly is intrinsically impatient. It wants everything now. It would like to be as clever and knowledgeable as others and must try on many different hats before finding one that fits. Its hunger, it hungers for respect and finds it excruciating to have to wait for a green light so it can show off its power by gunning the engine and leaving rubber on the streets as it roars out of the intersection at top speed. But if you give in to such impulses, or if you try to bluff your way out of a situation or into a situation without really being prepared for the consequences, you'll end up simply exposing your immaturity. That line 6, again, same as last month. Real insight arises from a deep yes to each lesson that life brings, including the painful ones. If you have fallen down and skinned your knee, don't be discouraged. Just pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and keep moving. This card, again, means that there are many lessons that have not been learned yet because the maturity level hasn't been there, or the same lessons are coming through so that we can learn things at a new level. Again, this whole concept of, higher and lower vibration, and that higher is always better. It's not. We all need that good, firm, strong foundation at that lower level to be able to sustain anything higher. You cannot build a skyscraper without having incredibly deep footings. Does that mean that the footings are not nearly as elevated or, great as the top part? On the contrary, you can have beautiful penthouses, but if your basement sucks, well, then you have the condo that collapsed in Miami. If you remember, was it a year and a half ago or so? Oh, what a tragedy. Anyway, on to the next one. This one is number 9. It's called The Taming Power of the Small. This again has, so it has, come up here. This is Qian, which is yang metal, on top of Sun, which is yin wood. The words on this one are self-restraint, self-sufficiency, careful preparations, resourcefulness, minor impediments, and adaptability. This you'll see is has a beautiful a bunch of flowers, and it has a spider in the spider web. The self-restraint. Oh, that's such a tough one. Um, because again, everybody likes to get excited about things. So this overall, the message of this card is to just keep on, and oh, the focus line again I said is 5. So again, more external stuff coming at you, maybe not necessarily at the top level, but more at that mid range, maybe coworker type level. um socially equivalence level. um so this here is about being balanced, staying watchful, staying observant. um it's learning to appreciate and work with times of having little influence. So in other words, there's a lot of stuff going on around you. You have zero ability to impact it. That's okay. This is when you just keep taking care of the small things, working on the details, making sure that um, you are staying alert to times when you may have more influence. So early on, there may just be absolutely nothing you can do as long as you just keep on keeping on, and um, making sure that you don't get overly busy, because when you, well, numb yourself with busyness, you miss out on true opportunities. If you're so exhausted from being on that hamster wheel, you miss out on the opportunity to, get off of that and go into a better area. Let's see. The powers of influences may be restricted now. It does not mean that you are out of the loop. Life is giving you an opportunity to explore your humility and your ability to work with what is, even when it feels as though all the excitement is happening somewhere else. Some of you may be feeling rather insignificant right now. You really want to be making a bigger impact and having, well, a bigger splash in the world. You're still doing what you need to be doing. It's okay. It's actually better than okay. The next card that, by the way, all of these cards, I just keep shuffling until they throw themselves out at me. And I'm not kidding when I say they throw themselves at me. It's actually kind of amusing. But yeah, this was the one that threw itself out at me, which was number 33, retreat. This is the only one that's dealing with the inner world, because the focus line on this one is number 2. This is a timely departure, letting go, withdrawal, reevaluation, retirement. Don't hesitate to walk away. So while that other card had the spider web on there, with the analogy of, hey, if the web gets damaged, the spider just goes and, fixes it and takes care of it, knowing that as long as the web stays, in repair, not keep all those little details, something yummy and tasty is going to come along. That's more about, just being observant. This one is also about being observant in a different way. This is about being observant when the situations are changing and when it's time to get up and get out. They've got these birds that are flying south for the winter. They know when the seasons are about to change. They know before we do consciously. This is, let's see, where was that one? In human life, a considered departure is a sign of intelligence when it is in response to insurmountable odds. Whenever you have a deep intuitive sense that it would be unwise to remain any longer in a situation or in a relationship, pay attention to it. The intuitive self knows when periods of transition are approaching, But in the noise and bustle of everyday life, it is easy to miss the subtle whispers of that inner knowing. This is the moment. This is the moment to become reacquainted with its guidance. Yeah. So, again, talking about finding ways to not be so overly busy that you miss those signs. Maybe it's time for you to look at the groups that you've been associating with, where with the beliefs that you have been holding on to, with the societal expectations that you've bought into. Maybe now is the time to say, yeah, we're done. We're just done. Spending time in nature, meditating, journaling, all those are great things. Those are ways to help busy or unbusy your brain so that you can actually pay attention to those cues. The reading here for the focus line two is anchor yourself to that which you truly believe in. And no matter how rough it gets, keep that flame alive within you. The time of hardship will end, and when it does, you will emerge stronger and more than capable of succeeding in whatever you take on. It's scary whenever you have to move. It's scary whenever you have to expand out of that old paradigm, because the straight jacket certainly keeps you safe. It really keeps you confined. And yet, when it's removed, it can be very disconcerting. I'm just here to let you know I'm here to support you, as are many other people. All right, so the last card, again, I usually just do three, but boy, this fourth one just, again, jumped right out. It is the taming power of the great. So we had the taming power of the small earlier, and now we have the taming power of the great. This one is, again, an external focused piece. It is focus line 5. And it has the exact opposite of the previous card, which is yang metal on the bottom, Qian, and yang earth on the top, Gun. When I'm talking about those yang elements, those are often okay, I kind of back up a little bit here because we've got that grounded earth underneath with the yang metal on top. That's that rigid rules. So you've got that grounding, but there's that focus. That's the top piece. That's the action piece. That's what's going on now. This one is more about the yang metal on the bottom with the yang earth on top. It is the opposite of that. Instead of retreating the earth going into the metal, this is the metal going into the earth. So think of like a spade, cutting through things. And again, it's about, well, here, I'll just read the words. Self-discipline, concentration, strengthening your character from within, self-awareness, and realizing potential. One cannot have self-discipline unless you cut through the parts that are pulling you away, that are pulling you apart, that are diverting your attention. In my brain, I tend to go into a lot of gardening metaphors. So think about this as a hoe digging rows in a garden so that the water knows where to go to water those plant roots. So that's kind of why I'm coming up with that. Again, taming power of the great. Now you got somebody meditating. We just talked about meditating, getting still, being quiet, disconnecting from all of the external clutter. This is, okay, where's that wonderful little piece? It's the ability to remain aware while being tested by circumstance. How able are you to hold firm to your ideals and maintain your integrity in the face of challenges that threaten to break down your resolve? The present time is one that reveals truth as it really is in the moment. And this may be quite different from what you have believed was the case. Rather than continue reading that, there's there are a lot of opportunities for people to really right now reevaluate, um, what silo you have been in. This may be the time for those who were completely, let's go ahead and go with two really, really testy uh, convictions. I'm going to go ahead and bring up abortion because there are some that maybe they have been in the mindset that, oh, no, zero. There's should never be any opportunity for that to happen. And others that say, oh, everything should be allowed. There may be a time for both of those camps to take a look at their beliefs and go, maybe there really do need to be some limits, or maybe there really are to opportunities, options, times when it really does need to be allowed. It's about taking away that black and white and finding the areas of gray that may not be right for you specifically, but right for other people. And for others to go, maybe I really need to be a little bit more understanding so that we can stay balanced and be, finding that middle ground. Okay, so that's a really extreme example. But there's also a lot of times, the really heated things, like it or not, those are the pieces that pull us apart. And we need more togetherness. We need more going introspectively and seeing, well, where am I being the toxic one? Where can I look for that other perspective? That's the taming power of the great. It is looking at yourself, because you're still the only one who can change yourself. And maybe it's time to not expect others to change for your comfort. The focus line 5, nature in all of her wisdom and compassion eternally strengthens all of her creatures by challenging them, redefining the status quo by breaking it down, and restoring the balance by nurturing the new that is birthed from the chaos. Meditation is the wisdom key that unlocks the door of understanding, enabling you to drop your resistance to change and to say yes to life. It will sharpen your ability to distinguish truth from fantasy and identify the hidden gold in difficult circumstances that transform such circumstances into food for the soul. Distinguishing truth from fantasy. Distinguishing truth from fantasy, or what is versus what you want it to be. Byron Katie is a wonderful teacher when it comes to working with what is and releasing expectations that that somehow things are supposed to be different. Loving what is. Until you do that, until you can really get into that part of your experience and you keep pushing against everything to be different, all you're going to do is cause yourself pain. And that's not, pain does help growth happen, but it also it's kind of like rolling trying to like pull a pig out of a mud puddle and expecting your white suit to stay clean. Ain't gonna happen. Can you tell I grew up on a farm? Anyway, I hope this helps. Gives you a little bit of an idea. Again, this fire dragon energy this month. Don't be surprised if you feel a little spacey at times, even though the energy is not officially starting until the 5th, until a couple of days from now when I'm recording this. I can already feel it happening. Tomorrow, Tuesday, the 4th, it's a Yang water dragon day. So you'll kind of get a little bit of a feel for it tomorrow. Also, tomorrow, actually, tomorrow will be um, a great, oh, what's the word I'm looking for? I hate it when I get spacey like that. I guess the dragon energy is strong in me, even though I don't have any in my chart. Anyway, 2024 is a dragon year. So all of that stuff that I talked about, the dragon energy, there's going to be innovation. So keep thinking ahead, looking at the dragon year, the dragon energy, that innovation energy. It's coming, folks, and we're all going to be better for it. All right. Have a great April. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to drop me a line, leave a message on the comments below. I'll do my best to answer as quickly as I can. Thank you so much.